Welcome everyone to Fett's Legacy. My name is Taryn, and I'm back today to talk about the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 4. Obviously, guys, that means spoiler warning. If you haven't seen the episode, please go watch that first. And also, guys, if you guys can help me out in any way, whether that's liking or subscribing to the channel, sharing the videos, or commenting, please help me out. I really appreciate it. And also, I do want to say sorry for not uploading for a few days now. I did want to put this out earlier, but been dealing with a lot of things in school and in my personal life, so it's been kind of difficult. But I do want to thank you guys all for tuning in and checking out the channel. Again, please like and subscribe if you can. But anyway, guys, let's get into it. So Boba is eating with a bantha. These are all in the flashbacks, and we see the light flares that Din Djarin was using when him and that young bounty hunter were going after Fennec Shand. And so I can't believe Boba Fett was right there the whole time. I didn't think he was that close. But yeah, so he was right there, and Boba goes to find Fennec, and he saves her by bringing her to a mod shop. And this is why they brought in that like cyborg crew, I guess, to kind of introduce them. I guess that this is kind of a big thing on Tatooine. I didn't know, but apparently this whole mod crew, this mod shop is a big thing. So yeah, we just haven't seen it before. And so he fixes her up. Obviously, Boba offers him, some credits, and he fixes her up. And he says he won't cover up the machinery. He calls it beautiful machinery. So clearly, they love their mods and they like to show them off. This is what they're into. So I found that pretty cool and pretty interesting. So Fennec wakes up around a campfire with Boba Fett, and after confirming that she is Fennec Shand, she asks who he is. He tells her, obviously, he is Boba Fett. And she doesn't believe him because, as you guys know, the rest of the galaxy thinks Boba Fett is dead, and that's how he wants to keep it. So, we also learn that Boba blames himself for the massacre of the Tusken tribe. Obviously, he helped them, take care of those Pikes, and he did beat up those Nikto bike riders, or the speeder bike gang, and he blames himself for that. So, Fennec is surprised that the Niktos wiped out the Tusken tribe, and this makes me think, are we sure it was them? Because I don't know if they would have added that in if it was just them who took out the Tusken tribe. So maybe the Pikes actually had a hand in the Tuskens being wiped out, and maybe it was Crimson Dawn. I'm not exactly sure, but it doesn't make too much sense, because that tribe was a warrior tribe, and they outnumbered those Nikto bikers. And we saw when Boba went into Tosche Station and just absolutely destroyed them. Like, not that they are like terrible fighters or anything. Like, Boba is obviously more skilled than the average, person in the galaxy, but he took them all on his own. So I don't think these guys are really great fighters. So for them to overpower and take down almost a whole tribe, I guess, yeah, it is kind of shaky. I'm not sure if it was just them. I know they had their symbol on the tent, but maybe they had some others to work with. Maybe a bounty hunter that is going to be coming in with the Pikes, maybe Bossk or something. I'm not really sure, but they didn't seem like amazing fighters. So maybe it was Crimson Dawn. I'm not sure, but Fennec says her debt will be paid after she helps him, and I don't know. I wish Boba said "as you wish" like he did in Episode 5, but he didn't. But that would have been funny. But yeah, so Fennec uses a droid to scope out the area to obviously go and get back to Slave One. They did call it a fire spray gunship, which is the actual make of the ship, if you guys didn't know. And this was Jango's ship that he got actually in the game, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. If you guys haven't seen it, you get to play as Jango Fett throughout the whole story. It's a great game. I do recommend going and check it out, even if you just go watch it on YouTube. But that's where he gets the fire spray gunship. But the name is Slave One. It's been an iconic name for decades. I hope they don't change the name, right? Obviously, I think if Boba told her, like, let's go get the Slave One, she wouldn't understand. So maybe he was just saying, like, let's go get my fire spray gunship, so she'd understand. But I hope they don't change the name. I know they're trying to, and they did for the Lego set. And I could definitely understand why they tried to change it. Obviously, Slave One isn't very Disney, but this is an iconic name in Star Wars. You cannot do that, man. And I'm still going to call it the Slave One. I don't really care. So Boba says he either gets his ship or he dies, and this shows his determination and why people always said, he always gets his bounty. That's what people always say about Boba, because he puts himself on the line. He goes in there and he outsmarts people, man, and if he can't, he gets the people who know how to. So I also think he might just be a little extra with this for the Slave One because, this and his armor means so much to him. This is his father's ship, like I said. So he definitely cared a lot about the Slave One. So Boba says he was actually ready to leave bounty hunting forever. And, this really shows how much the Tusken tribe meant to him when they took him in. And, he was literally ready to drop bounty hunting forever. And obviously we know now he will. And he goes on to become a crime lord. So they start their mission to get the Slave One back. And I do want to say thank you to my good friend Alex, who actually told me the steel cutter that Fennec Shand uses is actually the same sound that was used when Dooku was beheaded in Revenge of the Sith. So that was crazy cool. I do want to say thank you to Alex for letting me know, because I didn't even notice that. And that's a really cool, little Easter egg that many people won't pick up on. But so they go in and they take out one robot, and the other robot, this is, I guess, also another throwback to Revenge of the Sith, but he has like 6 arms and he's spinning them like Grievous did in the fight against Kenobi. And also Fennec uses her cutter to actually cut off his head, kind of like Dooku, and his head falls into a plate of food. But I thought this was crazy Easter egg, so fun, so cool, and I'm happy that they're doing things like this. Obviously, we know Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau know the Star Wars universe. They know so many crazy little details, especially Dave Filoni, so I'm not surprised that they would do something like this, but it does make me very happy. So, crazy cool throwback. And honestly, just seeing the Slave One brings back so many happy memories for me. That is my favorite ship in Star Wars. In my opinion, it is the coolest ship in Star Wars. I know, the Millennium Falcon is really cool. Even the Star Destroyers, I know they're really big and awesome, but the Slave One is the most unique ship in the Star Wars galaxy, and it's the most modified in the galaxy as well. Boba and Jango went crazy doing the modifications. So, yeah, that just, brought back so many happy memories for me. So they get ambushed by a bunch of guards, and I do want to say this is probably the saddest moment in the entire show. Obviously the Tuskens dying was sad, but Fennec actually shoots Gonk, and he blows up, killing the guards. And obviously, Gonk is clearly the true hero of the story, guys, so I want you guys all to drop a rest in peace Gonk in the chat. And, very sad to see a Gonk droid blown up, because they are the coolest in the galaxy. But anyway, guys, yeah, Fennec says she will come along for the ride after they get the Slave One. And I think maybe this might just be to see like Boba Fett in action. I'm not sure exactly why she wanted to go along for the ride, but if I was her and I just learned that Boba Fett is still alive, I would probably want to go see him take out a whole speeder bike gang as well. But yeah, so she goes along for the ride, and Boba in the Slave One is so badass. He destroys the biker gang. It was amazing to see. This is probably my favorite scene in the show so far, just him absolutely destroying those bikers. It was so savage, and he the look on his face when he's taking him out, that is definitely the old Boba coming back. And we've seen, when he gets mad, he doesn't hold back. He gets really angry and he goes all out. So that was so cool to see. The Slave One is so sick, and he absolutely destroyed those bikers. They then go to the Sarlacc to look for Boba's armor, as he probably forgot it was stolen by the Jawas, because he was severely dehydrated. He was in there for maybe a day or something, or a few hours, but he was dehydrated and on the brink of death, right? So I can understand why he forgot that his armor was stolen. And so they go to see if it's in the Sarlacc. The Sarlacc is still alive, as Boba did burn it with the flamethrower and escape, but you can't kill a Sarlacc that easily. So the Sarlacc actually jumps out at the ship and starts pulling it in, and Fennec, has to press the button for a seismic charge. And obviously, guys, like, the seismic charge, I always want to see the seismic charge. It was nice to see it in The Mandalorian, and I love that sound. It's probably the coolest sound in Star Wars, coming from the coolest ship in Star Wars. Like, what ship has a seismic charge, you know? All I've seen is the Slave One with it, and that alone makes it one of the best ships in Star Wars. So killing a Sarlacc with a seismic charge is super cool. And so Fennec, after, says like his armor is probably dissolved, and Boba says, "Not Beskar." So this confirms officially that his armor is made of Beskar, like Mando's, as there was some confusion, as some thought it was made of Durasteel, but it is made of Beskar for sure. And yeah, so they officially killed the Sarlacc. That was definitely really cool. So they're sitting by a fire after, and Boba assures her that he wants to run a family. He wants to become the daimyo of Tatooine, and says he's tired of idiots getting his kind killed. Obviously, this isn't talking about just Jabba, but Jabba's definitely included. And just how they're rash and they just spend loads of money just sending bounty hunters and muscle at people, when a lot of it could be avoided. So makes sense for sure. And he's tired of those kind of people, so he wants to run his own family now. And he's trying to recruit Fennec, as she is really badass, and he offers her something that no one else will, which is loyalty. And Boba is now trying to show that he can care for others and be loyal, because as a bounty hunter, you can't really be loyal to anyone but yourself. So she says living with the Tuskens has made you soft, and he reassures her by saying, no, it made him strong, as you can't last long with other tribe. And this shows he understands the meaning of a tribe, and having people who care for you and will fight for you, protect you. So now he understands what he needs to do, and this is why he's building his own family now. He's building his own tribe, and I love to see it. So sadly, guys, I do think this is the end of the flashbacks, as Boba gets out of the bacta tank and the droid tells him he is now fully healed. So, I mean, it is cool to see the current timeline, and I love it, but I really thought we'd see Boba tracking down his armor, maybe finding Cobb Vanth, and how he found Mando, but I guess not. Doesn't really matter. I guess it's fine. We don't really need to see it. But anyway, he goes to Garsa Fwip's sanctuary, and we see Chrysanthemum there having a few drinks, and he starts to get angry at some Trandoshans partying and gambling. Obviously, guys, Wookiees and Trandoshans hate each other. I said this before. As well as Chrysanthemum is a little more aggressive. He has a little more anger in him than most Wookiees, and so he absolutely goes berserk on the Trandoshans. This was definitely cool and fun to see. And he goes to try and rip the arms off of a Trandoshan, as we know Wookiees like to do. They like to do it to pretty much any species, but especially Trandoshans. And, Garsa Fwip comes, and she's trying to get him to calm down, as obviously this isn't great for her business. And, tells him how great he was as a gladiator, how he doesn't need to prove anything else, but this isn't really about proving anything for Chrysanthemum. So she even offers to wipe his debt off the books, but Chrysanthemum doesn't really care. He hates Trandoshans, and he just likes to be feared. He likes to just pick on people and, do whatever he wants. So Chrysanthemum ends up still ripping off the arms of the Trandoshan, even after she tried to get him to stop and wipe his debt off the books. And, obviously, guys, Trandoshan's limbs, they do regrow, so this isn't a big deal. Boba has actually blown up Bossk, and his legs were gone, and they just regrow. So Trandoshan's limbs do regrow, it's not a big deal. But that was definitely cool to see, and Boba then follows Chrysanthemum out and recruits him. So I obviously knew this would happen. This was amazing to see. And, well, I didn't know, but I did predict it. And, I can't wait to see them kick ass together. I'm glad that he's on his side, but this might cause some problems if he wants to get Bossk on his side, as Bossk and Black Chrysanthemum do hate each other. So maybe Bossk will be on the Pike's side, or Crimson Dawn, whoever comes in. Maybe he won't join Boba. I did think he would, but I guess I could see how that could go the other way. Boba and Bossk have a really strange relationship. he kind of looked up to Bosk as like a mentor when he was young, but also like Boba kind of led Bosk, and they have a lot of respect for each other. They don't hate each other or anything, but they are bounty hunters and there is competition. So on jobs, they're not really friends. They will take each other out to, get the bounty, but they don't really ever try and kill each other. They have this mutual respect for each other that is, definitely from their history. And so they have a weird relationship. So I could see him working on the other side, but I would have liked to see him work with Boba. But I hope he's on Boba's side. So the families of Tatooine are now listening to Boba's proposal in the palace to stop the Pikes, and they say they won't join him. And so one guy even says, like, why don't we just kill you and take what we want? And because they make money from the Pikes. And this is when the Rancor comes in, shows his huge claws, basically says, don't fuck with my dad, because they're basically like dogs. And yeah, I love to see it. That was definitely so cool. He just sticks his claws right through the gate. And so they agree to be neutral. And Boba says, he doesn't trust them, but they aren't stupid enough to go against him, really, because the Pikes will probably take over the whole planet if they can. So he doubts they will betray him. And Fennec then asks, how much treasure do we have? And Boba reassures her they have plenty of credits. This is obviously from tributes, probably what was left over in the palace, and Boba's own credits that I'm sure he has a lot of from previous jobs, maybe stored away in the Slave One or something. But, she says if we have credits, credits can buy muscle, because Boba said he's lacking the muscle, if you know where to look. And then at that moment, we hear Mando's music, and oh my god, guys, I cannot wait for Din to come in the show. It will probably happen the next episode, and I'm so excited. This is going to be so awesome. I would like to see maybe Boba go to Mandalore if Din is there ruling. I know he is the rightful ruler of Mandalore right now, as he did take the Darksaber in the end of Season 2 of Mandalorian. So he is the rightful ruler. I would love to see Boba go to Mandalore, maybe recruit Din and a bunch of like loyal Mandos. That would be so awesome. Mandos versus the Pikes, with Boba and Din leading the way. Just to hear that score in the background, the Mandalorian theme song, such a great theme song. And I don't know, I would love to see even more people come on Boba's team. Obviously, Din Djarin is now pretty much confirmed. Black Krrsantan is there. Fennec Shand, he's got the Gamorrean guards, the Mod crew. But I'd love to see Bossk on Boba's team, as I mentioned before. Maybe even Dengar. That would definitely be really cool to see. And also, I was thinking about this the other day. Maybe even Cobb Vanth, as he did track down him for his armor. Maybe he knows him, or maybe Din would recruit him. But it would be super cool to see Cobb Vanth back in action. Obviously, he doesn't have Boba's armor anymore, so he won't be as badass. But still, I would love to see him. And let me know what you guys are expecting in the next episode and who you want on Boba's team. Like I said, I would love Bossk to be on Boba's team, but I'm kind of nervous that now, because he has Krrsantan, Bossk will be on the other side. But anyway, guys, this was probably my favorite episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I love where the story is going, and let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Anyway, guys, thank you guys for checking out this video, and peace.